Hi everybody and welcome to Marketing. This is Stacy McGee and I'm your instructor for this semester. And I just wanted to make a little video to kind of walk you through the course and make sure you know where everything is and where to find everything. So at the top of our Moodle course here, you can see some kind of general information and resources. And the announcements do get emailed to you, but kind of not at the end of the day, and they come in a batch. So you can always check them here. The schedule and the syllabus is posted. Let's look at those briefly here. So the syllabus is here, and so that's my information. Email is always a good way to get a hold of me. And we have a free textbook for this one. It is an open source textbook put out by the University of Minnesota Library. So I have links to there and there, so you don't have to pay for that. The learning outcomes are all the exciting things that we're going to talk about in marketing this semester. The textbook is required. It's free, but it's still required, and it is your main source of information. So sometimes I feel like when it's free, people think, oh, it's optional, but that's not what that means. You definitely have to use that, and you need internet access because everything is done on Moodle. Your grade is made up of quizzes, weekly discussions or assignments, a midterm, a final, and a project. So you have a quiz for each chapter. You generally have a discussion assignment for each chapter. Those are all done in Moodle. There's no time limit on those, and I will drop the lowest grade. So I don't extend due dates on those, but I will drop the lowest grade. So if you missed one, you're okay. Exams cover material primarily from the book, but also from some other links and things that I include in your assignments. The exams must be taken at the testing center. They are open book and open notes. And then there is a project that you're going to do at the end to kind of pull together everything you've learned about marketing and apply it to a real world situation. And so that's due at the end of the semester, but I have more specific details posted on Moodle for you for that. Course policies, being attendance, for example, I take attendance. So this tells you kind of how much work you should expect to put in, and in an online class, obviously you have to put in a little more work. Attendance in an online class means that you are participating and you are active in our Moodle site at least once every week. I do not extend due dates for the quizzes or the assignments, but if hopefully nothing's going to come up. You only have 2 exams that you have to come on campus for, and they will be available for at least a week, so you should be able to make that work in there. And don't assume that you can just skip it and go take it later, though. Academic integrity policies are the college's policies, and as are the disability services. Here's all the things we're going to be talking about. And what I do want to point out is that we don't get to actually advertising till all the way down here in chapter 11. So most people, I think, when they think of marketing, they think of advertising, but that's really just one aspect of it. And we have to spend a lot of time getting to know our customer and what they want before we get to that. So, and then there's a lot of ways we communicate with our customer other than just advertising. So there's a lot going on here, and a lot of research in there. And then your schedule is posted here. Primarily, most of the time you have a quiz and an assignment due each week. The assignments vary, but they're going to be applying whatever we're talking about in that chapter. If we go back here to the course, each week this is how it's set up, okay? And so it says, here's what you're going to learn this week. These are the outcomes for that chapter. Here's what's due this week. And so you've got little check boxes here. Some things like a quiz or an assignment checks off automatically once you do it. Some things you check off yourself once you complete those. And so we have what you're going to learn, what's due this week, and then your resources. So you have a variety of things here. You'll have a video for each chapter, which is me. It's very similar to this. It's a screenshot, so you can't see me, but it's me going through the chapter, very similar to what I would be doing in class. And you have a PowerPoint, and sometimes I have additional articles for you. These are articles related to this week's discussion. If you go down here, so here's chapter 2, here's what we're talking about, when it's due, what you're going to learn this week, what's due this week, and then the resources. And you can see most chapters here I have 2 PowerPoints. This is the one that the textbook put out, and then this one is mine that comes from this video. So both are perfectly good resources for you, so you can kind of use those. The videos are, I don't know, probably average 20 minutes long, maybe 30 minutes. I try to keep it shorter, but sometimes I ramble on, like I'm doing now. But anyway, you can watch these in addition to reading the chapter. It's just a different way to receive the same material. And so that's the setup each week. I know sometimes people just come in and they just jump right to assignments and just say, okay, what's due this week? That's not going to work for this, right? But each week you've got, you could just go to the forums, but I have this designed to kind of follow this way. So I would recommend going to that chapter, what's due, and there's a lot here, but some of these are really quick. And then your resources for that chapter. And like I said, sometimes I have extra videos built in for resources, not every week in there, but I have that same structure every single week, so you can follow along there. And when we get to the exam, here's some things about testing center hours and some review material and that kind of stuff. And then there's our spring break. So that's what we've got going every week. So here's some extra videos and stuff that relate to what we're talking about there that are pretty interesting. So that's an overview of it. Let's see. Is there anything else important you need to know? Again, with the discussions, I am looking, with the weekly assignments or discussions, what I'm looking for is enough to show me that you read the chapter and you can apply that. It's pretty obvious when somebody posts something and they have not even looked at this material yet. There should be a difference between the way you answer one of these questions and somebody that had never taken this course. So you need to think like a marketer. And the main goal of the assignments is for me to see that you are not just reading the material, but that you're keeping up and you can apply the material to a real world situation. So when you're writing your posts for these, give me enough to know that. Give me, use some concepts from that chapter so I can see that you read it and you understood it. This is my main feedback from you guys as we go throughout the semester. So read the chapter first. Make sure you look at that. And then make sure you use what you learned in that chapter in your post, not just your thoughts and ideas. I want to see you applying concepts. That's the point of the assignments. The other thing I wanted to just show you up here is the course manual. So this walks you through a lot of different things. The structure of the course, course policies and college policies and grading. A lot of that comes from the syllabus, so that's straight off of the syllabus. Some notes on professionalism, what I expect in terms of professional behavior. There's some good stuff in here too, especially if you're new to college, kind of the differences between college and high school and being a professional. These are some of the things that are, when you get out to the workforce and you're competing for jobs, are really going to set you apart. So this is a good time to start practicing those. For example, when you're writing a discussion post, you're not texting your friend, and so this is an academic exercise. I expect you to use real words. I expect you to use punctuation. I expect you to use capitalization, all that kind of thing. And if you don't, that'll reflect your grade. So this needs to be professional. And then some things about getting help, some frequently asked questions. I don't have extra credit, but I do drop the lowest grade and the lowest discussion, the lowest quiz and the lowest discussion grade, so that should be a grade booster for you. Quizzes and exams are graded automatically. The other things are manual, so it'll take me a little while depending on how complicated it is. I don't accept late work. There's no group assignments, and the best way to contact me is through email. So, but this whole course manual that you can get to from the top of the page answers most of the questions that you should have. This is a link to your textbook overall, and then you can also see, like, each week I have a link built into that chapter. So when it says read chapter 1 in the textbook, that'll go right over here, and that'll take you right to chapter 1. And then you just page along as you go to each section of the chapter is kind of its own page. And there are some videos built in here as well, but that's chapter 1. And they have lots of kind of real life examples put in there. You could also hop to a different chapter if you want to write from that table of contents. But I do have a link built into every chapter, or you can use the link at the top, which just takes you to the main page, and then you can go to the chapter you want. So that, I think, is most of what you need to know. If you have any questions, please let me know. Lots of resources to help you, and marketing is a fun topic, and this is probably the most fun class I teach. So hopefully within a week or two here, you're thinking like a marketer, and we can apply that. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to a great semester.